Had to take a sip of that drink. I be starting off the podcast with a bunch of and throat stretching and shit. Like, oh my God. I told myself before I started the podcast, like, I'm not gonna curse within the first minute, and I already cursed. So there's that. But welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to the channel, Kicking It with Saint Podcast. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for clicking on the video. I appreciate you for checking me out. I appreciate you for listening to me. I hope you're having a dope night, dope day, dope afternoon, whichever point in time you're listening to the video. Like, subscribe, share if you fucking with the content. I don't really have a schedule. I drop videos on a regular though, because I break down weekly games and whatnot. Give my analysis and predictions on upcoming games and whatnot. You can follow me on Twitter at STCAPERS24. Saint Capers 24. Check me out on Twitter. We be talking a bunch of sports on that. And you follow me, I will follow you back. So, we got to talk about these Saturday games. Obviously, last week of the regular season of football, meaning the season's coming to an end, but we ain't talking about that. I want to break down the situation real fast. Or however long it take to break down the situation. Because I feel like in the last podcast, whichever video it was, I talked about it, but I didn't really go too in depth about it, the AB situation, because I didn't really want to give AB a ton of time. Because I feel like that's what AB want. And some people going to listen to this and like, oh, well, you're not that big a person anyway. Nobody knows who you are. That's okay. We're going to get there one day. But I don't really, because I don't really like talking about motherfuckers like AB. Motherfuckers who crave attention, who do shit just for attention. You know what I'm saying? But I do feel like it's some situations where you do have to talk about it. Because I talk about football all the time. AB is a football player. So, obviously, AB did what he did on Sunday in the Jet situation. And you know the situation. We don't got to go over all that. But, you know, it's been reports and emails and text messages. And AB went on a podcast yesterday or Friday. Which was yesterday when I'm recording this podcast. But some people might not be. Anyways, he went on a podcast and talked about it, and there was a lot of things that I learned from. There's a lot of things I've learned the last couple of days dealing with AB. So let's just rewind this all the way back to when AB was in Pittsburgh, and when it all went wrong in Pittsburgh. He basically quit on his team. The last game of the season and whatnot during the playoff push, he basically quit on the team. They end up trading him or releasing him, whichever one it was. He ended up going to the Raiders. They give him an extension. He signs it. And I believe they say he acted like that in Pittsburgh because he had no more guaranteed money left on his contract or whatever. Now, I was rocking with AB at the time because I did not like Big Ben. I did not think Big Ben was a good leader. It was multiple people who had came out and spoken on Big Ben about not being a great leader. Plus, Big Ben had come out and publicly thrown players under the bus all the time. And if you're a quarterback of a team, if you're a leader of a team, I don't care how you feel, you should never be throwing dudes under the bus. The leader of a team, I don't care what sport you playing, I don't care what business you in, should never be the one that's throwing motherfuckers under the bus. That's the leader. If your leader throwing motherfuckers under the bus, what you think your whole team gonna be doing? There's no loyalty in that. There's no respect in that. You're supposed to set the example. All right? Setting examples, meaning you are the example. Be the example. You can't go around throwing motherfuckers under the bus and shit like that when you the fucking quarterback, the leader of the team. Big Ben done that. So I wasn't never really rocking with Big Ben for a long time. So naturally I took AB's side. And then, you know, the black aspect. I thought people was really dumping on him because AB was and I was like, they don't really do white people like this and shit like that. But eventually I had to grow. You know what I'm saying? And I understand it's hard to separate real racism and what you might perceive as racism because it's somebody that you like in a situation. We like AB because he is a great football player. He is a great personality. Maybe you like him because you just know AB or he from your hometown or whatever. Whatever the case may be, AB got a lot of fans. Rightfully so. He earned them. And that's all right to be a fan of AB, the football player. It's all right to be a fan of AB the person. It's not okay to be a fan of AB's actions. And you have to, when somebody do something so many times, eventually that's who they are. AB continue to show you how that he childish. He continue to show you that he's selfish. He continue to show you that I don't even like calling people arrogant, because I really don't really have a problem with people being arrogant unless it's just like obnoxiously arrogant. But AB, I understand being a fan of the dude, but at some point in time, maybe you got to grow up too. Because I noticed that a lot of people a lot of people taking AB side in this, right? And a lot of people want to jump and make this a race situation. And AB released his text, and people immediately started hopping on Bruce Arians. And what that kind of proved to me is kind of what Nick Wright was talking about on their show. I think it's First Things First is what it's called. It's kind of speaking to what he was saying. And I don't really know if he said this, but he spoke on this situation, and I like what he said on it. But my thing is, this just go to show you that, and it's sad, really, when you think about it, like he said, but Bruce Arians is a dude, a white man, a white head coach that's done given so many opportunities to African American men in the NFL. He done given so many African American, damn near the man's entire coaching staff is filled with African American men. Every year he a head coach. He done got different black men hired as head coaches. He done spoken on how he feel it's not enough representation, and how it should be more representation, and the importance of black representation in the NFL. I don't understand how Bruce Arians can do so much to prove to you that, because to me, actions speak louder than words. It'd be one thing if Bruce Arians said that, oh yeah, we should be hiring black people, like Tomlin, a black man, and not doing it. Bruce Arians is hiring black men. He putting his money to the causes. He speaks publicly on the causes. So I don't understand how somebody like a Bruce Arians can do so much publicly to show you that he not a racist, and that he stand with black people, and he believe in most of the ideals that you believe in, and you still think, oh no, he racist, just because it's a dude that you like, just because it's AB. Yeah, and AB done been ignorant in his last 3 stops. He quit on Pittsburgh, he quit on the Raiders, he quit on New England, and he quit on Tampa Bay. So you can call it what you want to call it. And you can be naive and blind because you love AB. You can be like I was for a while. But eventually you're going to have to open your eyes. This dude is quitting on his team. That is what he did. He quit on his team. And AB knows quitting on the team for the simple reason he started off his shit with, I didn't quit on my team. Nah, you quit on your team. Because a motherfucker who quit on his team ain't got to say that. Motherfuckers gonna say it for him. It's not even when you think you quit on your team, you quit on him. He know he quit on the team. There's no 2 ways around it. And it's disgusting how this dude is acting. Listen, if you agree with AB that old Bruce, for one, I believe you didn't play sports, or you was only playing YMCA ball or something like that. If you think AB should have acted the way he did because Bruce Arians got mad at him on the sideline and told him to get the F out, if you really think that that's how AB should have acted because of that, you have a problem. You have a problem. Especially when AB goes on the podcast the next day and say, I was just too drippy for this, or whatever the fuck he said, whatever the goofy shit he was saying on the pod. Like, I don't, and just a quick thing, bro. Listen, I don't know what that podcast name was. I can't remember. That's the first time I had ever even heard of that podcast. And that's the beauty in making podcasts. Like, a motherfucker like me can never hear about your podcast, and you could be making a great living off of the podcast. That's why you should know, just chase your dreams, people. Like, just chase your dream. There's motherfuckers who gonna tell you, oh, you can't blow up because there's so many of these. I've never heard of that podcast before, and it looks like they're doing very well for themselves. very well for themselves. I guarantee you they're doing well for themselves. I've never heard of that podcast before in my life. We'll never probably look at another episode or anything. I didn't even watch the whole AB thing because of how irritated it is watching AB talk. So, salute to them for making a great living off of doing what they love. But I don't understand how you can have a podcast or any business, period. It's not just a podcast, but I'm just speaking on it because they allow him to come onto their podcast. So, this is one thing that I pray I never become. A fucking bum or clout chaser, in the sense that you let this dude come on your podcast. I understand you wanted him on your podcast. Oh, we want AB so bad. We want AB so bad. You wanted him on your podcast or on your show or whatever. You get him on there. And you let this motherfucker run nuts. You let him be disrespectful. You let him talk all types of ways to your co-host or your boys or whatever. Like, if you think AB was respectful for the majority of that interview to the people, that AB's a bum. You let this motherfucker basically come in there and run the show. You basically became AB's guest, basically. And you was jumping when the motherfucker told you to jump, and smiling when he told you to smile. You laughed when he told you to laugh, and you rode his dick when he told you to rode it. That's embarrassing, bro. That's disgraceful, bro. That's basically letting a motherfucker come into your house, piss on the floor, and telling you to clean it up, and you going and clean it up, and then asking him what he want us to drink. Like, what are we doing, bro? I don't never want to become, get to a point where I let a motherfucker come on the podcast or come onto a show I'm doing or something like that and just go stupid. Like, nah, there's no respect in that to me. But shout out to them for, making a great living off of doing what they love. Respect to that. Probably a fire-ass podcast. But, to me, AB is, at some point in time, we as people got to grow up. It's okay to be a fan of AB and at the same time say what AB doing is not cool. Because what AB is doing is not cool. Listen, if it's kids listening to this right now, if it's kids listening to this or teenagers listening to this, motherfuckers in high school or whatever, listen, it's not cool to do what AB is doing. Alright? That's not cool. At all. Period. Like, that's not cool. That's not smooth. Like, that's not the move. What AB doing is selfish. And he making a clown of himself. His kids gonna see that shit when they get older. Like, that's why I said the other day, like, yo, this dude is supposed to be an example for motherfuckers like Mike Evans. And now you got a motherfucker like Mike Evans basically saying, man, go on, bro. Like, we done with you. Bye. Like, motherfuckers looking down on him. And he don't care, obviously, because the dude's ego is just out of this fucking world. Like, AB might be one of the most egotistical motherfuckers I probably done ever seen. He might be, and it's another word that I'm looking for and I'm searching for, because it's another word for this dude. AB is what is the word I'm looking for? I'm not going to fumble around looking for that word, but to me, like I said, you could be a fan of AB, and you have to realize it. Like, because I really think people starting to tell on themselves, to be honest with you. Like, the making it a race. And I don't understand how y'all don't realize AB playing. For one, AB didn't write that fucking note. That's one. It's no way you write that note and then you turn around and look at this motherfucker's text messages and listen to him on that show. It's just, nah. It's no shot. But then, on top of that, I don't even understand what people so hyped up about these text messages for. Because for one, I looked at those. I took a quick glance at them. I don't see nothing incriminating in them text messages for Bruce Arians. It's really a big AB got a lot of fans who overhyping this shit type thing. Like, that's exactly what it is. And I don't, listen, like I said, man, a lot of motherfuckers telling on themselves. You can't use race as especially because this is not a racism type thing. This is not a black-white thing. This is a dude acting like a pure jackass. You know how many players done been cussed out by their coach or fussed at by coaches? Mike Verbal do it to players all the time. Coaches do it all the time. Bruce Arians ain't do nothing crazy to AB. But AB already had decided, like, fuck this, I don't want to be here no more. And I believe Bruce. I'm being a band with you. I truly believe Bruce Arians when he say AB was pissed off, not about his ankle, but about his fucking catches, not thinking he was gonna get them incentives. Because he and his agent had went in and asked for the incentives to be guaranteed anyways, and the dudes told him nah. And like Shannon Sharp said, he panicked. He thought he wasn't gonna get them incentives reached. And what's crazy to me is, because I truly do believe that, because that's AB's problem. AB got mad in Pittsburgh multiple times because Ben didn't get him the ball. Even though Ben used to religiously force him the ball. And then Ben would follow it up with a game with like 4 picks, but he'd get AB like 20 fucking targets. AB self-centered. He was happy when he got his numbers and his target, even if they took a L. But if they won and he didn't get his targets, he wasn't happy. That's a selfish motherfucker. He wasn't happy for the team if he didn't do good. But he was happy for himself if he did great and the team lost. Because he didn't care about the team. Motherfucker been giving us signs that he this type of person, and we just refusing to believe him for some reason. Not me anymore. Not a lot of people I see now, but a lot of people still trying to take AB's side. I don't know how many times he got to show you that he a piece of shit for you to believe that he a piece of shit. I don't know how many different ways he can tell you unless he just straight come out and be like, yo, I'm a piece of shit. And even then, I'm pretty sure people gonna laugh at it and, still defend him and not give a fuck. Like, because that's what it is at this point in time. The man took his jersey off, tossed it, took his shirt and gloves off, tossed it in the stands, jumped up and down in the end zone and dipped. How many times you done seen somebody do that? In any sporting event that was an athlete. Like, see, I think motherfuckers is more concerned about being entertained. I think motherfuckers starting to like people more who entertain them rather than really caring about what's wrong and right. That's why you see so many motherfuckers saying free such and such who actually committed horrendous crimes and shit. And motherfuckers will still be like free them because they didn't do such and such. Oh, they ain't got such. And you just like, man, how goofy can you be? We as people gotta grow the fuck up. Like, listen. Like I said, it's cool to like AB. At this point, I don't really know how you could really, but I think AB is a child type thing. And people who stuck in this, like black people who stuck in this, and listen, I'm a black man and I love black people. And it's hard for me to go with black athletes. I don't want to do that. I done said it before. There's enough white analysts talking down on, there's enough white analysts and black analysts alike talking down on black athletes on TV on a regular basis, getting paid to do it. I don't make a dime from doing what I'm doing right now. But it's got to be said. Like, this dude's acting like a bozo. He videotaped him with his altercation with his baby mama. He threw the chair off of the balcony at the hotel in Miami, I believe it was. He do the thing, he fuck up his money. And that's another thing. What I don't understand how you can, for one, I think it's like, if AB don't show you the type of motherfucker he is by going at Brady, then I really don't know what could convince you. What could convince you that AB is a piece of shit? Like, Brady done stuck his neck out for AB a multitude of times, and AB still turned on him. And I know motherfuckers like AB, who when they get hot, everybody can get it. Mama, daddy, granny, sister, brother, best friend. It don't matter. Like, nobody they friend when they feeling a certain type of way. I know motherfuckers like that. Motherfuckers like that real dangerous. They the type of motherfuckers I keep a great distance from. I don't want to be associated. I don't want them to know I exist. That's the best way to keep it. And that seemed to be the type of motherfucker that AB is. Like, everybody, he can find a way to make everybody a problem, no matter what you done for the motherfucker. And I just think that's whack. Like, I really do. Brady reached out to you, bro. Like, reached out for you. Like, the motherfucker got you hired in. And then I hate this thing because I see a lot of people also saying, like, oh, AB right when he say that Brady only my friend because I'm good. Bro, you only wanted to play with Brady because of who Brady is. What are you talking about? Brady's accomplished far more in his career than you. You only wanted to play with Brady because of who he is. Like, what are we talking about right now? Everybody wants to play with everybody in sports because of how great they are. What are we doing right now? This is no different of a situation as far as that's concerned. So to turn it, like I said, AB can turn anybody who's fucking with him into a situation or a problem, bro. Which is what he clearly did. But to do it to Brady was so shocking to me because I knew he would do it to Brady eventually. I was legitimately waiting for it. But I didn't know when it was going to happen. Like, I thought he'd wait for it like a year or so. Nah, the motherfucker took no time. Brady didn't even go after the man after he pulled that stunt on Sunday. He still said, man, I want the best for him and blah, blah, blah. And AB was basically like, oh, bet. And went after him. Like, then said Brady can't do shit by himself. He need me. Like, you do know Brady won rings without you, right? What, 6 of them to be exact without you. Like, it's a dude that's delusional. Very, very obsessed with himself. And I don't think that's okay for motherfuckers to be having as their role model or looking up to, thinking that that's cool. Because it's not cool. It's not cool. It's not. And it's not cute. The only reason AB can get away with this right now is because he's rich. If AB wasn't rich, you wouldn't think this shit was cool. You shouldn't think it's cool now. But because AB got money, wear nice clothes, you think it's cool. It's not. Shit highly disrespectful and childish. See, that's the biggest thing. It's childish. This is shit that you would imagine children doing. You don't imagine a grown man throwing a fucking tantrum on the sideline on a nationally televised game at his job and doing what AB did. You imagine a child would do something like that. I thought about when AB did that. I was like, man, AB did that shit. I said, I did some shit like that when I was in elementary school in 4th grade. I was coming out of my class and I thought I was going to get my teacher was going to write good day on my shit. And he ended up switching that shit to bad day. And I'm like, what the fuck? Bad day? And the only reason and I had teachers do this 2 times in my lifetime where they just thought that I had a bad day, so they put bad day. And so the teacher had put bad day on my shit. And I remember I walked out the classroom. And I'm still holding this folder. That's how I knew some shit was about to go down, bro. Because I'm just steaming, bro. This the first time I think in my life I had realized that I had anger problems, bro. And it was the first time that my anger actually, like, exploded. And I'm walking out of the classroom. And I went to Prince Abraham Elementary. When you turn towards the hallway that I was on, it was like a radiator and a window and shit that lead you to a door to go down the steps. I'm walking out of my classroom, bro, and I can't even remember the teacher's name. And I'm steaming, bro. I remember in that moment, like I'm breathing hard, bro. I'm like, man, what? In my mind, I'm just like, I can't believe this motherfucker just did. Because I know my mom's was tripping on me having a bad day all the time. And so I'm fuming. I'm just like, man, what the fuck? And I remember walking towards the hall, like, as I'm almost getting there, I'm probably like a couple feet away. And I remember holding that folder, and I remember thinking to myself, man, fuck this teacher. And I yoinked that motherfucking folder across the hallway, and it popped the window. Then I took the shit out my book bag, and I yoinked that shit across the hallway at the radiator. And then I walked back in a classroom, and I snapped. I said, man, if you gonna say I had a bad day, I'm gonna give you a reason to put down that I had a bad day. No cap. I did this shit in elementary class in 4th grade, bro. At the end of the day, bro, I spazzed, bro. That motherfucker had to call my aunt up there, bro. I got an ass whooping when I got home. I'm telling you, I spazzed, bro. Like, this was 4th grade. I was like, oh, fuck this dude. He just did me so dirty. I'm like, that motherfucker gonna be the reason I don't watch TV when I get home. And I dead ass didn't have a bad day. Like, I couldn't remember. I didn't have a bad day that day. And I just snapped, bro. Like, I lost it. I lost my mind. I absolutely flipped, bro. Like, I'm talking about I yoinked everything in my book bag at the radiator in the window, bro. Everything. And I was chewing on a Jolly Rancher, I think, and I slammed that shit on the floor when I got in the classroom, bro. I was like, man, fuck this dude, man. I was mad as hell, bro. Mad as hell. Teacher came out of the classroom looking at me in the hallway, bro. They had to sit me down and try to restrain me in the classroom. My aunt had to come up there and get me and come. But I was mad as shit, bro. I was mad as shit. Now, I ended up getting an ass whooping because I ended up doing that shit. But they wasn't going to believe me if I had told my parents, like, bro, I really didn't have a bad day. The motherfucker just guessed. Because the same shit happened to me. Like, I didn't throw a tantrum this day, but I was going to the zoo one time. Like, the only time I ever been to the zoo in my lifetime when I was in elementary, bro. I was in 3rd grade. And I don't even know why my teacher did this shit to this day. I do remember her name. Miss Lineberg. Bro, we was at the zoo, and when it was time for me to get my take-home sheet filled out to say if I had a bad day or not, she looked at me and was like, have you had a bad day or not? I just put it on in the middle. And she put it on like he had a okay day. So it was like green, yellow. No, it was green, yellow, red. Or was it green, something, yellow, red? Bruh, it was 4 colors, bruh. She put me on the fucking second color. She basically put me on the one that's one away from red. It's basically said he had a decent day. And I got an ass whooping for that when I got home. And my mama asked me, she was like, why was you on this yellow? I said, Ma, I'm being so serious when I tell you right now. I did not cut up today when we went to the zoo. I said, I was looking at the lions. I was looking at the sun. I said, I didn't do nothing wrong. I said, at the end of the day, my teacher hadn't been around me all day. And she said, well, did you have a good day or not? And I said, yeah. And she said, I don't know. I'm going to just put it on this. And I'm like, what the hell? In my mind, I was like, what the fuck kind of shit is that? Got an ass whooping. I didn't throw a tantrum that day, but I just remembered that the second time, that was the first time that it had ever happened. But so that's the type of shit that I did when I was in elementary school. That's the point of all that. Throwing fucking tantrums like I'm a child. Antonio Brown is 30 plus years old, bro. Too fucking old. It's like I told my little cousin today. Because I came to my mama's house today and she was like, yo, cousin, because my little cousin is 6 years old. That little motherfucker cannot drink anything before bed, bro. Because that motherfucker pissed the ocean on my mom's couch. An ocean. Like, bro, he had his whole fucking, what do you call it? His pajamas. His whole pajama, I forget the word pajamas because I don't wear pajamas to bed. You know, I don't know too many grown men that wear pajamas to bed. But his whole pajama outfit was soaking fucking wet. The whole couch, like both cushions he was laying on, was soaking fucking wet. They picked the cushions up, and even it's wet on the sole of the couch, like a huge piss spot. So I'm thinking to myself, man, this motherfucker must have pissed like a couple, because it's like a thick couch and these some thick ass cushions. Mind you, on top of the cushions was 2 thick ass heavy cotton bean bag covers, like real thick for extra large bean bag, but we don't put the stuff in it. We just use them as couch cushions because they so soft and so thick, and they gave us way too many of them bitches on Amazon for like a year straight. And so it was 2 of them shits covering him, and he laying under one. And this dude, my mama, I had got into the house, I came in, and I was looking at him when I walked into her room, and she was like, I think he pissed himself. And I was like, what would you think that for? She was like, because he haven't, and I got there at around 2 in the afternoon, and she was like, because he haven't moved at all today yet since he done woke up. And I was like, that's odd. So I walked in and I was like, Chris, you peed on yourself? You peed in the bed? He was like, he looked at me, he was like, yeah. I was like, what the fuck? And so I asked him, I said, so you just pissed on yourself, like you it's pee everywhere right now? He was like, yeah. And so I was like, what the fuck? And so I walk over to my mom and I'm like, yo, Chris pissed in the bed. Yeah, he said he just pissed in the bed. And so, and the bed is basically the couch that he sleep on, this big, thick ass couch. And so, she called my sister up there. And my sister start like getting the covers off of them, and like she holding them real funny, like they real heavy, cause they already heavy, but like she really holding them like they soaking wet. And I'm not realizing this shit, cause I'm probably high out my mind. But he walked past me, and I'm not realizing how soaking wet this dude is, cause his cup, so his pajamas is like a lighter blue. They was a real darker blue. That's how soaking wet this dude was. And I didn't really pay it too much attention till after his shit got washed. But my mama kept saying like, man, he's soaking wet. Like they made him go take a bath and everything because of how soaking. Like he was, bro. It's as if you filled a swimming pool full of piss and he jumped in it and got out. Or just marinated in it actually for about a good 30 minutes. Because he laid there in that pit. Now, when I tell you this dude pissed the ocean, he peed about 4 to 5 times on that couch. And it got so much, like so, and one of the times he peed might have been like a very long piss. Because you got to understand where a little kid's private area is, and he laying down on his side, and the pee gets so much that it start coming up to his like shoulders and whatnot. And it started to cover the lower parts of his leg. He had the entire like shit pissed all over. And I looked at my mom and I said, now what y'all gonna do about this couch? I said, cause how the fuck do you wash a couch? Like I was like, yo, that's insane. That's insane. And he knew what he was doing because he potty trained. Like this is one of the things where he do when he just lazy and don't feel like getting up to go to the bathroom and shit like that. Like I'm telling you, man, the shit really it was crazy. But back to AB, bro. I really think, and I'm past one of them motherfuckers, like the motherfuckers who be like, oh, we gotta, maybe he got a mental thing. You right. Because I was looking at the podcast that he was on, and I was thinking to myself as he was talking, this dude might really got a mental problem. Like, this motherfucker mentally just might not all be there. And I don't want to say that, and because there's people out there who really deal with mental issues and whatnot. But when I say this, I'm thinking of the urban term mental, as in like something really wrong with this motherfucker, bro. Like, and it's so very clear to see, cause I actually do know people, and I've seen people that actually have mental issues and can't do, cause it break your heart when you see them type of people, and they can't really function all there in their head, like it's a struggle for them. You see them type of people. AB is not one of them type of people. I've seen those type of people. I done been around a person who take care of a mental person. Like she is his like care. Like she take him everywhere. She take him out to eat. She take him to go play. She take him to the movies. She basically take him everywhere. I seen them type of people. AB ain't one of them fucking type of people. AB is fully functional. AB is fully ignorant and childish and selfish. And he got his way so long in Pittsburgh that when he feel like he ain't getting his way, he spaz out and act childish. And he know he got a bunch of bozo ass fans that's gonna defend what he do. But I find it very hard to believe AB gonna get another job in the NFL. Because if he'll do this shit to Tom Brady, he will do this shit. Because for one, a lot of people were saying at first, the only reason AB is so good right now is because he playing with Tom Brady. Well, now the motherfucker done shitted on Tom Brady. Because he said if Tom Brady was his friend, he wouldn't be on a prove it deal. Because Gronk got a good deal, and that's Tom's friend. Well, Gronk didn't purposely fuck up his feet and get frostbite, so he didn't have to show up to practice or some shit like that in Oakland and cost himself $31 million because of conduct detrimental to the team. So Antonio Brown, for one, wanted to complain about a prove it deal. Well, you had a guaranteed $31 million in Oakland, and you decided to fuck that up. That was your choice. And then you ran around in your backyard saying, I'm free, I'm free, I'm free. And I remember saying in that moment, a lot of people I remember saying in that moment, he's never going to see that money again. And long and behold, a couple years later, it would be nice to have that $31 million in the bank. Guaranteed. But he didn't care about that at the moment. Because I'm starting to see that he one of them day by day motherfuckers. Like I was telling my cousin, bro, who's he? Motherfuckers, if you believe in prayer, pray for that motherfucker. He one of them motherfuckers who only care about, he only living for the day. Like he smoked weed. He was like, "Oh man, I don't want to smoke weed." I was like, "Why?" He was like, "Cause I don't like having to save weed." I was like, "What are you talking about?" He was like, "If I buy like a eighth or something," he's like, "I want to smoke all of it today and then get another one tomorrow." I was like, "That's how you go broke." I was like, "You don't need to smoke a whole eighth in one day if you got good weed for one." I said, "Two, you don't work, so you don't make money. You got your mama buying you this and other people buying this, and you smoking off of everybody else." I say, that it's not called saving weed. It's called being smart with your money. And he was like, "Nah." I said, "If I got to do that, then I just don't want to smoke." I said, "So technically, you telling me that you, and mind you, he will smoke through his whole eighth, and we know people that give out 4.0s and 5.0 eighths. He'll smoke through the whole thing in an hour." Even like it could be top notch gas. I'm talking about knock you on your ass. He will smoke through all of it in an hour, because he'll roll all of it up into just 2 blunts, and then wake up after like a good minute, because he'll get that kush coma, and then he'll be asking somebody to buy him some more weed, or texting me like, "Oh man, you got some weed, Cuddy?" Because he ain't even living day to day. This motherfucker living hour to hour at this point in time. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how do you get to this point? And that's AB. And it's going to be sad when you see the crash. Because I know I'm talking right now like I don't give a fuck. Because it's just a repeated thing. And you just get tired of seeing somebody be this ignorant so many times. Because I don't think you should behave in that manner no matter what happened. It's probably very few situations that could make me like, motherfucker, Bruce Arians could have said something about my mom, and I'm not behaving like that. I'm just a different type of motherfucker, bro. The only way you get me to act a fool is if you put your hands on me. That's it. Aside from that, it's gonna be very hard for me. Now, I do know there's some motherfuckers out there who got slick lips, bro, who got some real venom in them tongues. I'm one of them. So I know the levels of this. That's why I say what I say. It's a different level, because I'm one of them motherfuckers who know how to make everybody that I meet, and it's gonna sound real fucked up. I'm one of them motherfuckers. Growing up, I talked so much shit and did so, and like joked a lot. So I got just naturally, I learned how to just, crack. And then I get to one point where I knew how to legitimately tell jokes that was funny to everybody else but could make you cry. Like, I knew how to really hit people. That's just being mean. I got to the point where I knew how to just straight up knew how to be mean. Now, I don't do that because I always felt like, yo, that's fucked up. After I had did it like a couple times after getting pissed off at people and seeing how I could hit them back with something that really took it too far, I was like, I'm not cool with that. Like, that's fucked up. I would rather just let you get your false win than just to really take it to that type of level. I'm that type of motherfucker where I'll let you get a win just because I don't want to TKO you. I don't want to put you out of your misery, bro. I don't want us to hate each other forever after that. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with us not liking each other, but I don't want your supervillain origins to be cause of me. So it's real hard for me to ever justify acting the way, like, cause I had a boss who disrespected me at work, and I told him like, bro, if we wasn't at work, bro, I'd beat your ass. Like, I told him that. And I done told a lot of bosses that. But I told him straight up, like, yo, Pablo, bro, I will be. And I was laughing as I was saying it, looking down, because I was just so pissed off. And I was like, bro, Pablo, I will beat your ass, bro. Like, straight up, no cap, bro. I will whoop your ass. And then I ended up quitting. And I didn't touch him. I didn't do none of that because I calmed myself. Because I done been in I did anger management for like a 2-3 year span. And even though I didn't think it helped me at the time, I actually learned that it actually did help me deal with my anger. Because I used to pop off real quick. But now, I'm a little bit more civilized. It might seem like I'm losing my shit, but I'm not. It's called controlled anger. But I told that motherfucker Pablo, like, yo, I will beat your ass, bro. And then I ended up leaving. You know what I'm saying? Like I could have went crazy. I could have went nuts. I ain't do none of that. I checked out. Because at the end of the day, I'm not finna be the motherfucker that every time they see me, they like, oh, that's that motherfucker who went crazy at Chipotle. Nah, B. At some point in time, you gotta care about your image. I know that motherfucker AB, and that's what was weird to me, because he talking about why Gronk, and why this and that. Motherfucker AB, do you not see your track record, bruh? You talking about why prove it? Motherfuckers, because they need to prove that you can stay right. You did something to get you out of New England. You did something to get you out of Pittsburgh. You did something to get you out of Oakland. Now you done did something to get you out of Tampa Bay. How many times can a motherfucker do something to fuck themselves over it, but y'all blaming everybody else, bro? That's the thing that I really don't understand also. Like, people, please grow up. Like, this, it's no way you look at this Antonio Brown situation and think this motherfucker is the one being done wrong, unless you are also an Antonio Brown individual, a self-centered, egotistical prick, dickhead, asshole, piece of shit. That's the only type of person that can look at what AB is doing right now and think, yeah, that's the move. Because this ain't the move, folks. It's not. Like, it's... I just don't understand how this motherfucker could be doing this and just thinking, like, I don't understand who in his camp is not telling this motherfucker, like, yo, bro, you look like a goof. Like, this goofy, this childish, this not it. They just as goofy as that motherfucker. But, hey, if a motherfucker paying you thousands to tell you, yeah, you the man, I guess I'd do it too. But if I loved a motherfucker, I don't know if I'd be able to do it. I guess the motherfuckers he got around him is strictly business associates. Because good Lord have mercy, bruh. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't understand it. The only race thing about this is a black man acting a fucking donkey. This ain't no racist type of issue. I don't see no issue with what Bruce Arians did. I done been cursed out by a coach on the sideline. Dead ass. When I used to play AAU ball, I got cussed out by a coach on the side for absolutely no fucking reason. He snapped on me for missing an assignment, but the only reason I missed that assignment is because the two motherfuckers on the team that was supposed to be the best players, they was offense-only players. Them motherfuckers religiously that game was letting motherfuckers score on them just so they could just score on the other end, and they was missing all game. Coach never said that to them about that. And the one time I make the decision, yeah, I'm not finna, because I kept trying to help what was work, but the reason he didn't, well, no, it was multiple reasons he didn't say nothing, but the reason it wasn't really a big deal in the beginning was because the other team we was playing was either missing shots or I would get back and get on them and switch to them. Because I was the defender on the team, and I was pretty much the biggest motherfucker on the team. But eventually I ended up getting dehydrated because I ended up passing out on the sideline, basically. And it was because of how much I was doing, and I wasn't, drinking Gatorade constantly and shit. And them motherfuckers was legit. I'm not joking with you. They were legitimately leaving their assignments wide open and shit just to get ready to score on the other end. Coach never said nothing. The one time I said, fuck this, and I didn't pick up the dude, he started talking to me, and I snapped on him. I was like, man, it ain't no fucking way that you trying to tell me right, and boom, passed out. Was lightheaded as a motherfucker. Fainting. Was like, boy, I gotta get some fluids in my fucking system. I was just dehydrated. It wasn't no biggie. But it's never right to do what Antonio Brown did, bro. Never right. If you think that what he did was cool, you got to grow the fuck up. And that's, I do realize that, and this, I don't want to say this generation. I just realize a lot of young adults in their late 20s, early 30s, and whatnot. For some reason, very childish, very, very childish. And I understand everybody want to be this, it's the man. Yeah, I don't think it's always the man. I just think, man, you need to get the fuck right. Like, it's not always the man. I get it. Fight against the machine. I get it. This ain't one of them situations. This ain't no racist situation. This ain't none of that. This is a dude acting like a child. This is a grown fucking man acting like a fucking elementary child. This is unacceptable. You wouldn't like a child acting like this, so why would you accept Antonio Brown, a 30-something-year-old man acting like this? And like I said, man, motherfuckers who will turn on the dudes who look out for him, because Brady didn't have to get him a job and didn't have to get him hired in New England. And then he didn't have to get him hired in Tampa Bay when he went there. And then he didn't have to get him re-signed in Tampa Bay. But AB clearly didn't give a fuck about none of that. So Brady was in a lose-lose situation and never truly knew it. He thought because he was Brady that he could be above that he could be, AB with nah. AB showed you that nobody's safe. And like I said, motherfuckers like that, you can't be around. You can't fuck with motherfuckers like that. You just gotta hope they get better. Wish them well. And obviously, I know everybody can't not fuck with them. But you don't have to be the one that fuck with them. But let's get to these games that happened tonight, man. The Chiefs played the Broncos, and the Eagles got their asses waxed by the Cowboys. Dak Prescott played 3 quarters of that game. Want to talk about the Chiefs game for a quick minute. The Chiefs ended up beating the Broncos, even though the Broncos led for most of this game. Drew Lock. So obviously we know he's not a good quarterback, blah, blah, blah. Drew Lock is very confusing because I want him to be good. I just think he got this certain type of drip swag to him that I like. Not drip, swag. But whether it's the play calling or just Drew Lock might not be it. I think clearly he not it. He won't be starting next year, but he missed Jerry Jeudy on the first thing. And what was really good is he did a lot of running. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. And Melvin Gordon had a good game for him, but of course he fumbled it when it least expected in the worst of times. But I don't care about the Broncos. Well, no, let me not say that. I want to give a good Broncos. This is my thing with the Broncos. I don't think Drew Lock is a good quarterback. I do think he can make some throws here and there. I just don't think he's consistent. And when you're not consistent, see, that's the thing people got to realize. You can have a quarterback that's good at throwing the ball. But being good at throwing the ball is not the only part of being a quarterback. You got to be accurate with the ball. You have to be consistent at being accurate and good at throwing the ball. It's things to this. And if you're not that at the moment, you got to be good at a couple other things. So I do believe Drew Lock is not a good quarterback right now. Maybe with some different type of development or something he could be. But I don't think that's where the Broncos going. I think they're going to go in a different direction eventually. But because Drew Lock missed passes and shit like that. But listen, the Broncos defense, they was talking about how it was a top 3 defense and scoring defense, but they won't miss the playoffs. And this is like the first time since 90-something Bears did it, that a team that's a top 3 in scoring defense missed the playoffs. That give me mixed feelings, because that tells me, it don't really give me mixed feelings actually. It shows me that Vic Fangio should be a defensive coordinator, not a head coach. Because if you are, and I listen, the Broncos are a good defense. But the offense for Vic Fangio has been bad since he has been the head coach. And a part of being a head coach is being able to put an offensive coordinator or offensive people in place to make up for your lack of offensive knowledge or whatever. And it just ain't been happening. Situationally, this team ain't the best at times. This team is not good offensively most of the time. Hey, listen, they had a good little run. And I hate that when you got head coaches that are bad or who really aren't good offensively, what they want to do is fucking ground and pound. That's why I kind of like Staley, because he a defensive dude, But that ain't no ground and pound over there in in LA. You know what I'm saying? And what people don't realize is Sean McVay actually his offense, I know he got Stafford slinging it around and shit, but his offense is at its best when he got a running back that can run the ball. I'm telling you, just go look at Sean McVay. The best of his offense was when Todd Gurley was in his prime. I'm just telling you. But the Broncos got to find, obviously they got to get a quarterback. But I was thinking when I was watching this game, I was like, the Broncos, I mean, they pretty much have everything you need. I mean, I do want Melvin Gordon to fix these fucking fumbles, but the Broncos need, if they could get a quarterback, and I know we've been saying this like every year, this is the thing for the Broncos, quarterback. The Broncos gonna need to buy in, okay? If it is a draft that come up in the next year or two, and you still don't have a quarterback, I'm gonna need the Broncos to just go full tank and just buy the fuck in. I don't care how you have to do it. You need to get a quarterback. And if tanking to get a high draft pick to guarantee you get that quarterback is what you got to do, you got to do it. I would rather do that and be bad a year than continue to do what we're doing right now. Or not we, because I'm not a Broncos fan, but to continue to do what you're doing. Since Peyton Manning, this has been an absolutely average to below average. Not even it's not the Giants, because the Giants, I saw a stat that they haven't been above 500 in the last 5 years. That means these motherfuckers haven't even started 1-0 the last 5 years. That's pathetic. Well, the Broncos pretty much heading in that direction, if not for that defense, because they cannot score. And then think about the years where the defense ain't as good as it is on top of the bad offenses. This is why I said back in the day, not on the podcast, just back in the day, I used to tell my homies, like, motherfuckers gonna regret pushing Peyton Manning out that door. I would have rather had another terrible year of Peyton Manning being at average to see if he could get back to being at least somewhat of Peyton Manning than having him to retire basically tell me he retiring at the end of the season and not have no type of backup or replacement in for him. I just wouldn't have done it. And now they paying for it. And I mean, obviously you could say, well, it was what they had to do. I don't know. I really felt like Peyton was pressured. So, listen. The Broncos got to figure it out with this quarterback, man. Drew Lock not it. Teddy Midwater not it. They're going to have to figure this shit out. I'm not going to go down the list of all the different average to below average quarterbacks they done had over there since Peyton. But you got to figure it out. And at this point in time, I'm at the point where if I was Elway and the motherfuckers at the higher ups in Denver, I will legitimately say if it is a no doubt quarterback in the draft coming up that we want, regardless of this year, next year, we are probably going to win 3 games that year. Point blank period. It will be a year where we have a depleted roster or I don't know what you do. But we getting a fucking top 3 pick, top 2. We got to do what we got to do. Because I don't think they're going to get Aaron. I really think Aaron Rodgers is staying in Green Bay. I don't think he's going anywhere. And I understand Russell Wilson said that he want to win Super Bowls in Seattle. A lot of athletes say shit like that and then end up leaving. So I watched Kyrie say to Boston fans, if you will have me, I would like to return next year. And then be gone at the end of the season. So, you know, that type shit don't really mean much to me. That's a good way to get fans to not be on your ass for a while. But I also respect Julius Randle giving a thumbs down and saying, what was that for? Shut the fuck up. Respect. And I hope he don't apologize. Because fans need to know that they need to shut the fuck up sometimes. I agree with him. But now talking about the Chiefs. The Chiefs get this win. And, I said that I was, I liked how they was doing the offense because, Pat was clearly struggling this year and blah, blah, blah. I don't know if the Chiefs going to win the Super Bowl this year. I don't even know if they're going to get there. And this game is what made me realize. Now, granted, they probably don't see a defense that's as good as that Denver defense they saw today is. But I'm concerned about the Chiefs because it kind of feel like I understand Pat Mahomes is, taking the check downs and things. But I really think it's fighting him in his soul that they cannot get big plays down the field. Like, they have to rely on yak yards or run after the catch. They have to rely on dudes making dudes miss and making big plays after short gains all the time. And I think that is starting to become a little bit irritating to Pat. Like, when dudes ain't perfect now, you can see him talking to dudes and getting on them a little bit more. And I like it when I see these quarterbacks that's usually so nice and, calm and even keel. I like seeing them motherfuckers get fiery. I liked it when Lamar Jackson got a little bit fiery on the sideline earlier this year in Miami when shit wasn't going good. We shouldn't be happy. Shit not going good. I'm pissed. I'm irritated. Greasy was really driving home, Brian Greasy, that Pat wasn't having the best of days and he might not have been the happiest. Lamar Jackson started the tossing the football at the barricade type shit, or the whatever you want to call it. He started that. Now you got everybody doing it. But listen, I don't know what it is. And 10, Tyreek Hill hurt. He was hobbling. I'm scared that not really scared. That was a bad word. It concerns me with the Chiefs offense having to score. Like, they had so many, like, their first drive of the game was a long drive. Like, let me see. It was a 97 yards, 17 plays, around 8 minutes drive. Had to convert 4 different third downs. See, I don't think that's the thing that the Chiefs want to do the rest of the year to a Super Bowl. Not only do I don't think they want to do that, I think the Chiefs will struggle having to play like that the rest of the year to try to win a Super Bowl. I think that's exactly how mistakes is going to start to happen, because this is not a team that was built to play that type of way. Like, beat you by methodically constantly getting, even though they've done it and they show you that they can do it here and there. I don't think that's a Tom Brady type of thing. That's something you do on a regular. When you're not used to doing that on a regular, you see those tips and dudes not ready for those short passes sometimes coming up on them. And so I think it's going to be hard for Kansas City to try to get to the Super Bowl playing like that. I think Kansas City need those explosive plays to feel like Kansas City. And I don't have a problem with a team feeling like we need to be us to win. Because I know it's going to be motherfuckers be like, well, why you can't just adjust? Listen, bro, it's hard to adjust when you played a certain type of way and won a certain type of way for so long. And I was looking at them today thinking to myself, like, man, it feel like KC, like, it's as good as they are. And I'm glad they figuring shit out and things like that. It just still feel like something ain't clicking. Like Pat Mahomes is not enjoying how shit going right now. And I'm wondering, what do you do to make it better in the offseason, regardless of what happened? I wonder what you do to get them back to being explosive. Maybe it's just dudes get healthy. Maybe it's just, it truly could just be they done had the longest year in the AFC the last couple years by basically playing the longest season. And, when Brady went to the NFC, they had the longest season because they made it to the Super Bowl. And this is what? They done been to the Super Bowl twice. If they go in 2 years in a row, if they make it this year, that'll be 3 years in a row. So I can understand if it's just straight up fatigue. Now, that won't help no more if you make it to another one. But the offense for the Chiefs right now, bro, is not explosive right now. It's a bunch of dink dunks, short passes, receiver screens, bubble screens. I don't drag routes. I don't know how long that worked for them. Before Pat have a game where he just like, man, fuck it, we gonna try to make something happen. You know what I'm saying? Because it just feel like it's not clicking right now. For some reason, they cannot get the big chunk plays that we so used to Kansas City getting. But let's hop over to this Dallas game. Because I said that if Jalen Hurts played, this would be an interesting game. Because Dak played 3/4 of this game. But they had Gardner Minshew playing. And listen, the Eagles did what they do best. And it worked for as long as it could possibly work in these type of situations or circumstances where you don't have your starter and some starters playing. They ran the ball, and they ran the ball damn good. But you could tell early in this game that Dak Prescott was not losing this fucking game. And Dak Prescott has assassinated his division this year. Listen, you could say he playing in a trash division. I agree with you. But you play who the fuck is in front of you. All right? Peyton Manning couldn't do nothing about being in the bad division all them years. Neither could Tom Brady. It is what it is. Dak Prescott, Dakota Rain Prescott, has thrown 17 touchdowns and 3 interceptions against teams in his division this year. He played the Eagles twice, he played the Giants twice, and he played Washington twice. And in those 6 games, he threw 17 touchdowns and 3 picks. And that is not counting if he had any rushing touchdowns. Dakota Rain fucking Prescott destroyed his fucking division this year. And that's all you can ask from a quarterback. Beat the teams in your division and you halfway there to the playoffs already. And he did that. And I respect that. 17-3 against your division. That's big. That's big time. And they mopped the Eagles tonight, bro. What's funny is the Eagles is the better running team. And Dallas basically came in and was like, yeah, we got something for that ass. And they ran all over him. It's shit's crazy. It's very ugly. It's ugly. It looked about like a college score out there. And, this game also made me realize Gardner Minshew, I already knew he wasn't a good quarterback. I already knew he was a mid backup. But this game just so many games when I watch dudes like this, it just constantly proves eventually when you're watching them. The script plays and everybody doing their job can work and make you look good only for so long. Because when it's time for you to start making plays and shit, eventually these dudes show you who they are. Gardner Minshew might be a fine backup one day, but he is definitely a backup. He is not a starting quarterback in the NFL. And the fact that the Jaguars wasted multiple dudes' careers on having him be their starter for 2+ years or past the time when they had him as the back, shows you the type of organization that the Jaguars are, bro. I think it shows you the type of organization that Washington is. That they got Heineke starting for another fucking year. A dude who came from the XFL. Like, this ain't even no rookie who out of college who was a rookie last year out of college who you just found a diamond in the rough. No. This is not the same thing. Tyler Heineke is a backup. And these motherfuckers got trot him out there every week as a starter, trying to develop him like he a fucking starter. No. Washington is a bad franchise. Now, they didn't show you that in multiple ways than that, but I'm just telling you, Jaguars and Washington is two great examples of team wasting other dude on the team's careers by starting 2 dudes who are very clearly and obviously probably one hit or one game wonders or did a great job when defenses had no idea who they was and they wasn't planning for them every week or didn't have much tape on them because they had to come in and back up. But why would you make these motherfuckers the starters past that time? Like, that to me, that's just laziness by those 2 franchises. And that's buying in or feeding off of or manipulating the fan hype that the fans have for somebody who came in and was good in the backup role. And you buy into that bullshit ass hype, knowing that he probably not it, and you keep him out there because the fans liked him last year. So yeah, that's what the Washington is. I mean Washington. That's what Garner is to me, bro. That's what he is to me. I don't think Gardner Minshew was a good quarterback, and he eventually started to prove that in this game. Dallas ended up putting their foot all the way in the asses of the Eagles, but that does not matter. That does not matter. The Eagles are still going to make the playoffs. Nick Sirianni has been a great coach. Maybe if I sit down and do some thinking, I won't think he's the coach of the year, but right now, I definitely. Well, I don't know, man. When you get you get your foot. I know he didn't have Jalen Hurts and a couple other stars, but I mean, golly, man, they got their asses stomped out tonight, bro. It was ugly. It was ugly. That's all I'm saying. But it's gonna be a sad playoffs for me because Baltimore not gonna be in it for the first time in like 3 years, so I'm sad about that. Lamar not playing, so I haven't got to see Lamar in about a month. Sad about that. I know my boy gonna be back on a crazy ass revenge tour next year, but I'm struggling right now. I'm sad. I'm very sad that my boy not playing no more this year, but I hope we beat Pittsburgh tomorrow because my boy Terrell Suggs, one of my favorite players all time, will be at the bank tomorrow. God might own his soul, but I own his ass. Big Ben's last game. I've been seeing a lot of people keep it a whole 100% when they've been talking about Ben Roethlisberger lately, bro. I respect that. I wonder, do Big Ben get in the Hall of Fame on the first ballot, bro? Because, I mean, his numbers and shit say he basically a first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't know if you really take into consideration that he ain't really played for a Super Bowl in God knows how long. And the fact that he really haven't been, I mean, when was the last time he was in he played good in a playoff game was what? All the way back when he played against the Ravens a while back. And then they was going on droughts and shit then. But like he is a Hall of Famer. But then if you hold T.O. out like you did because of off the field issues, which mind you, T.O. had no off the field issues. They tried to hold that man out because of locker room issues and shit. And I don't know how you put Big Ben in on the first ballot with them off the field issues. That's all I'm saying. So that's going to be interesting. We got to go to the notes to see. Oh, bro, I learned tonight that Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce. I didn't learn that they was brothers tonight. I already knew they was brothers. I did not know both of them motherfuckers was drafted by Andy Reid. That was crazy. So Andy Reid that was far. Buckner, that motherfucker slipped and busted his ass on one of the things. Yo, fuck Buckner. Buckner, not fuck him as an old fuck Buckner. No, I mean he slipped and busted his ass on a kickoff or whatnot. The Philadelphia Eagles kicker, bro, shanked a punt that went 22 yards before the halftime, in which the Cowboys ended up scoring on, which they had just scored on a previous drive and ended up getting that ball unexpectedly in a hella short field, and then they score again. Like, it just all was bad for the Eagles tonight, bro. That shit was, oh my goodness, bro. I feel like I'm seeing a shank every week now, yo. Shit's crazy. Shout out to Jason Kelce, though, who got 122 consecutive games started for the Eagles, which is crazy because I thought Jason Kelce was hurt at different point in times last year. That show you how much I was watching paying attention to Jason Kelce. That shit actually blew my fucking mind when I saw that. So I was like, wait a minute, he wasn't hurt last year? I think I confused him with Lane Johnson. I think Lane Johnson the one who I'm pretty sure Lane Johnson is the one that be in and out of games and shit like that. Let's see. Oh, Boomer. He said that Rodgers going to sit out of the Super Bowl to protest the vaccine testing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a load of bullshit. Another thing, Preston Smith on the Pat McAfee show said that the game's starting to look like a 7-on-7 football. I agree with that 1,000%. And what they doing to the defense is you basically ain't touch a motherfucker nowadays. You gotta basically let them go right past you. 2021 could be the last Uncle Murder wrap up of the year. You gotta go check that out. I think he capping. Big Sean, worst rapper I ever signed. What Kanye's words. He said on his tombstone he gotta write something because he signed Big Sean, some shit like that. And I thought he was being like 100 at first because like I think Big Sean kind of whack too. I ain't gonna lie. But the biggest reason I think he whack is because like he got some hits. Listen, he got some hits. But I think the motherfucker rap like a high schooler. Like he rap like I know he a grown man, but I just feel like he rap and sound kind of like he rap like a high schooler, middle schooler or some shit. That's always been my problem with him. But Kanye was just being disrespectful. Kanye was just being straight disrespectful, bro. Just because them motherfuckers wouldn't ride with you when your goofy ass was wearing the red hat, that was whack. Then he took a shot at John Legend, bro. Dude, that was whack. But yeah, I saw that this week too. Big news before we get done with the podcast. Ahmaud Arbery, rest in peace, big dog. He really gonna be able to rest a little bit easier now because the 3 racist dickheads just got life in prison, baby. Yo, Travis McMichael, you piece of shit. He got life, no parole. Good riddance, you bitch. Greg McMichael, life, no parole. You bitch. Good riddance, motherfucker. And William Bryan, because of his circumstances, he got life with parole. Probably gonna die behind bars, though. Good riddance. Yeah, bitch. So that's big news. That is huge news. Huge news. I hope Ahmaud Arbery's mom and his sister and his family, his dad, I hope all them, you never gonna really have peace because you just lost a son, a family member. And that's why I think people cruel nowadays, because you try to justify what these cops and motherfucking racist people do when they taking lives of people, and you can't justify it because these motherfuckers will never be able to come back. Ahmaud Arbery's family never going to get to see him again unless they looking at him through pictures and videos and things like that. They'll never get to touch him again. They'll never get to hear him speak a new word again. Like, they'll never get to see him in person again. They'll never get to hug him again, kiss him again, talk to him about his day again, and have him respond and talk back to him. That's never going to happen. So, just because these racist motherfuckers wanted to hunt this dude down, and it's not even take the law into their own hands because he did nothing wrong. They hunted him down with the intentions of gunning him down and killing him. Straight up. They just felt like killing the nigga today. They just felt like killing the black man today. That's what it was. And that's what they did. So I'm happy that them pieces of shit ended up where they belong. I hope they get booty fucked every day in prison. I don't know if that's good to say on YouTube. I hope they get fucked around with every day in prison. I hope they life miserable in prison because you know what they got? Life. They might not get to be free no more, but they still get to live every day. Ahmaud Arbery don't get that opportunity. He don't get that chance. And it's real weird. I'm not even gonna get into that. But so I'm happy that Ahmaud Arbery's family, I hope that they can get a little bit of peace knowing that those 3 pieces of shit is behind bars for the rest of their life. And I know that them 3 motherfuckers being behind bars will never bring Ahmaud back. Like, obviously. And that's the hardest part about it all, because no form of justice was gonna bring Ahmaud back. But at least them 3 pieces of shit is in prison and can't do this shit to nobody else. And Ahmaud got some type of justice, because this should have never happened to him in the first place. And if the world wasn't the way it is right now, then them 3 pieces of shit wouldn't felt comfortable doing what they did. But it happened, and he never gonna be back. But I hope that these 3 pieces of shit rotting in prison can bring them some type of peace. With that, I think that's a perfect way to end the podcast. I hope y'all have a great day, a great afternoon. And I'm going to tell y'all something. It's funny how we leave people who love us just to be, because we're not satisfied and shit like that, just to go chasing down motherfuckers who don't love us and don't want us, because we want them to be, or we hoping that they just like the motherfuckers we let just left. Now, that don't pertain to me, and I ain't got shit to say, do with me. Somebody told me that this week, and I was like, I guess I'll say it on the podcast. And if somebody hear that one day, they'll be like, oh man, that motivated me, that touched me, man. They talking about my situation, blah blah blah. I just thought that'd be nice. But anyways, thank you for joining me on another episode of Kickin' It with Saint podcast. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I enjoyed myself. I hope you join me again. I hope you share the podcast, like the channel, subscribe to the channel, share it. And I hope you enjoy your night, your day, your afternoon, whichever point in time you listen to this. Tell somebody you love them. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Do something that you fuck. I saw this quote a long time ago when I was a kid. Do something that you like every day, and you'll have a moment of peace. I fuck with y'all. I love y'all. Saint out.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know, there's these 2 words. And And when I say them, people get goosebumps cause they know what happens next. So without further ado,
free smoke.
look, scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver.